Hello and welcome back to the 2017 LMS Summer Split. Week 7, Day 1 action coming at you here. AHQ taking on JT in the first series of the day. See the bands coming through here for these teams. It's going to be the Galio Elise on the red side, and LeBlanc Callista taken away from the blue side. Callista still, quite obviously, some teams consider the highest priority AD carry. Others still think Caitlyn is hanging around, especially on this patch 7.13 where she hasn't been nerfed yet. Zach is going to be the last takeaway for AHQ, and it's going to be JT responding with the Aurelian Soul. See, Westdoor is playing here for AHQ, so he definitely can pull out that pick at times, make it work with the Roman around the map. They want to shut him down in the mid lane. And because the Caitlyn ban did not come through, it's actually going to be AHQ picking that one up for themselves, so they're going to put Anne onto that lane bully carry. See if they can get a lead down in the bot lane. JT thinking of responding with a bot lane pick of their own. Hovering the Thresh support. Putting Jay on that playmaking champion's going to do wonders for them in the bot lane. Trying to shut down Anne any way possible. It'll be a tall task though. They are hovering the Talia as well and do lock that one in. Fofo definitely loves playing the Talia. Has a few games on it already this split. Going to be looking to make plays around the map. Hit 6 on that ult. Keep the wave clear in check. So they will lock down their mid laner early on the side of JT. Gragas will be locked in for Mountain. See what their second and last pick of the first phase here is. Are they going to decide to lock in their support as well? A lot of things up. Braum, Tahm Kench are both... Tahm Kench actually a pretty good pick into Thresh. Of course, you can eat whoever he hooks. Braum, not so much. I've heard actually a lot of support players say that they like the Tahm Kench into Braum match, or the Thresh, sorry, into Braum matchup. So this might see teams shy away from that one. It is going to be the cast-in lock-in, however, for Westdoor. So he's going to be taking that scaling mid laner, look to survive the laning phase. Go ahead and scale up into these team fights. It's going to be hard against the Talia, who will be able to keep him pushed in quite severely. So it might be up to Mountain to try to relieve some pressure from the mid lane there. It's going to be the Sejuani lock-in last for J-Team, so picking up that tanky jungler to respond to the Gragas pick. Both teams going to be having that beefy champion come out of the jungle. And Braum also still up if J-Team wants to pick that kind of permafrost synergy. Second phase of bans coming through, and it's actually J-Team who bans away the Braum, so they're not interested. Oh, of course, they picked up the Thresh already. What am I talking about? I am a silly goose. So they're going to actually ban away the Braum, so taking away one of the defensive options. That will be able to peel away for Anne on the AD carry. I just said Ziv because he's the one who locked in Caitlyn. So huge focus on the supports actually coming in for J-Team. Alba's getting a bit of respect there. Leaving open a few top laners. It's actually AHQ who are banning the top laners though, but Morning is definitely happy playing that Rumble. Seen it before, and we will see it again. They lock that one in. So they're going to be bringing even more magic damage. Pretty magic damage heavy team comp already for J-Team. Probably going to be looking for a pretty hard carry, AD carry. Both these teams actually really like playing Ashe, so I'm interested to see if they go for the Ashe pick to start making plays along with the Talia around the map with those ults. Try to pick some people off. And Tahm Kench is going to be the pick for AHQ. I like that a lot, actually. It does well into the Thresh. Be able to keep your two hyper carries alive. A lot of CC already for the side of J-Team. See what the top lane pick will be for AHQ. Kled, Renekton, all available. Hovering the Gnar, though. Or no, that's not Gnar, that's Kled. That's the other little Yordle in the top lane. They look so similar. I mean, Kled looks a little bit more vicious, I'm not going to lie. I would rather take Gnar in a fight than Kled. Kled seems like he played dirty. It will be the Kled lock-in, though, for AHQ, so I'm going to give that over to Ziv in the top lane. He'll be going up against the Rumble, so that's the matchup they choose to go with. Probably going to be pushed in quite a bit early, looking to survive the laning phase. And start to make plays with his team with those ults. HQ actually have a pretty dangerous flanking team. If you can get that Tahm Kench in with the Kled ult, close in on people very fast, and the Jhin is going to be the lock-in for J-Team, so not going towards that Ashe. Instead, they're going to be picking up that lethality AD carry. Not quite 7.14 yet, so we'll see if that's actually the build coming out of BB in that bot lane. So it seems like J-Team almost kind of want to contest this laning phase, picking up the Thresh and the Jhin. A lot of kill potential on that lane. So much CC can come through, especially when you have the likes of Sejuani jumping out of the jungle and Fofo on that Talia. Caitlyn, of course, always going to be dangerous. Huge lane bully. Paired with that Tahm Kench to keep her safe. Not going to offer the most harass in the lane, but obviously a bit of a Thresh counter pick there. As the team comps are locked in, you see the coach shaking hands there. They've done their job. That's all they can do. Give their teams one last word of encouragement, and they will head off the stage. As you can see, the team comps on your screen right now. Some very interesting matchups, and some very familiar champions for these players as well. Go ahead and jump into the Summoner's Rift here. Like JT wants to get some preemptive vision, trying to spot out maybe where Mountain is starting on this Gragas. Pushing in as a team, J-Team to be specific. They do grab a ward onto the red buff. They're going to know at least if it is the Super Leash coming out from AHQ on the blue side. So you can see the Masteries there taken on screen. Deathfire Touch on the Kassadin. He's looking to do the damages. Classic Storm Raiders on the Talia offers just so much mobility. And it's not going to be the Super Leash. They're just going to start him up on these Raptors. He's going to take those. We'll see where he goes after that. It will be this quote-unquote solo queue leash coming out of J-Team. This is just the standard leash that you see in every solo queue game. The bot lane duo helps out the jungler on their first buff, and then they're on their way. Do their thing. Both of these junglers can make early plays, I should state. They do have some early CC built in already, but on the same token, they would not really mind just farming it up until they hit 6. Especially the Sejuani. We may see the Gragas try to gank a little bit earlier. They do spot out the fact that he did the red buff, so standard pathing coming in here from Mountain. They are going to have the information and rough timing, so Morning shouldn't really get caught out unless Mountain pulls off some sort of odd miracle pathing play. See he's going to be doing with Wolves here, and Morning making the smart decision to come in here and drop a ward. So good job by JT so far. Definitely with the vision advantage, information advantage, spotting out the junglers. Actually, Alex took his red buff, so he's got both buffs. He might actually look to try to steal this one, maybe. Nice damage coming through, and he does get it. Wow, beautiful start to the game from J-Team. Very intelligent jungle pathing, but you can't just give the credit to Alex there. It was all about the first ward they got on the red buff, and then Morning coming down early after getting the lane push. That's the good thing about Rumble, is you can almost always guarantee the early push. You can work together with your jungler. As you can see, good things can happen, so that's going to be a very good start for Alex on that Sejuani. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, looks like AHQ starting to get their push on here. Looks like BB took a bit of a nasty trade there. He's going to have to back off for now. He's actually started that Doran's ring on Jhin. I actually really like that. You've seen it a lot if you're not quite familiar. Jin's Dancing Grenade, his Q, actually has AP scaling on it. And since Jhin doesn't really scale off attack speed or anything like that, going the Doran's Blade doesn't actually hurt you that much. He's going to get that mana regen as well. Jhin in lane actually does run into quite a few mana constraints. Grabbing that up for yourself just assures you can keep spamming out those spells. Jhin, of course, I wouldn't consider him a spell casting AD carry, but those are very essential in his kit. Of course, most of his damage is going to come through those autos and that force shot. Especially being able to spam those dancing grenades, they're going to be trying to stop the hard push coming in from Caitlyn. Looks like we have a pause here. The magic of pre-recorded VOD-ness, we will just be able to skip through it. Doesn't actually look like it lasted too long. Just a couple of minutes pause and we're back in the game. 4.5 minutes into this one. Checking the CS leads. As expected, pretty even across the board, except for that mid lane where Fofo has been able to grab already a 10 CS lead. He's actually going to do a bit of an early recall here. Make sure he has the wards and the vision to keep playing aggressive. Of course, Alex is recalling right now, so he probably felt a little bit scared. Didn't have any vision to the side. Didn't quite know where Mountain was. Unbeknown to him, though, Mountain was very low, and he's going to go ahead and recall as well. And up that bomb, he's Cinder on the Gragas. That's going to help his wave clear, not wave clear, jungle clear even more. So he'll be able to get these ganks off, be a bit more flexible on this Gragas. Thunderlord's picked up, so going for a bit more of the damage. Trying to offer to these lanes. The early ganking for AHQ is a bit rough. Kassadin, of course, in the early game, especially before he has his ult, can't offer much to a gank, and Kled doesn't have too much damage early on. When he gets a few items, it becomes more relevant, as we have a flash in here from Jay. Doesn't quite predict the hook, and Albus will be able to get away from that one, so it's a flash for flash. Ignite also burned from Jay preemptively, trying to secure that kill. So technically a summoner advantage for AHQ, but it's all about which of these teams are going to be able to punish that flash burn from the support. That does open up the return gank opportunity. See which one of these junglers, if any, want to place priority back on that bot side. Westor, meanwhile, just trying to stay relevant in the farm game here. As you might expect, Fofo pushing in very aggressively on this Taliyah. He has the Sejuani relatively close, and he also has some decent vision there. As you can see, spots out Mountain, so he knows he's safe to continue pushing. Kassadin did hit 6 now, so technically the gank threat becomes a little bit more real. That's really when you start to see, if any time, junglers start to gank the Kassadin lane when they actually have the Rift Walk to work with. This mid lane is actually going to be very important. If they can get this Kassadin rolling, and make sure they hem in the Taliyah in the mid lane, they can actually cut off a lot of J-Team's win conditions. We'll see if they're able to pull off that. As you can see, a small gold lead for J-Team so far, thanks to those CS advantages. It's a nice hook landing onto Albus. He doesn't have flash, remember. He does have a decent amount of help, but actually the TP coming in from Morning, pushing that wave and going forward aggressively, flashes onto Ann. Exhaust goes down from Albus. He's going to sacrifice his life to save the AD carry. Heal burn from Ann, trying to keep his support alive, not quite going to work. And now 4-man strong on the bot side. JT looking to make an early aggressive play out of this tower, and might be in a bit of trouble. He does have flash. Let's see if he decides to try to use it. Taliyah wall is going to come down just to block it. Nice, deadly flourish lands. Fofo flashes forward. They pick up another kill in the bot lane. That's a trade, though, going over to Westor. Good job picking up that one. Gragas, though, going in a bit too deep. Mountain thinking maybe he can turn a bit more. So that is a 3-for-1 in total, actually, for J-Team. Because, of course, Albus did go down earlier on. And they're also looking to take the first brick gold. Westor hanging around, trying to defend this one. Morning dropping so low. Heal goes down. He took turret aggro, though. Oh, no, the Deathfire touch not paying off. He goes down. That's a bit of an unfortunate kill to give over on the back end. And that means they're actually not going to be able to take first brick gold. And meanwhile, all this time, Ziv has just been pounding away at this turret and getting solo XP. He might even be able to take it. Taliyah is on the way. It's pretty low. He's almost out of minions. Albus just taking a few turret shots for the fun of it. Gets that deep ward. Actually stops the back from BB. Very annoying there. So it was actually the roam coming up from Fofo to the top side to make sure this top lane tower didn't go down first. They want to fight to preserve the first brick gold. They don't want to give it over quite that easily. As we take a look at this replay, so it all starts out with a really smart play from J-Team. They know Tahm Kench's flash is down. Rumble was able to free himself up from that lane and get the uninterrupted TP off. Tried to even get out Ann, but they end up picking up the free kill onto the Tahm Kench, and then they say, hey, we got 4 people down here, let's just keep going. Taliyah's 6 as well, so the roaming power is strong. They end up using the Taliyah wall. Doesn't quite zone off Ann, but either way, it gets Fofo there, so he can do the damage and get the kill. Unfortunately for him, he had to go a bit too deep. Westor picks up the trade kill. Mountain overestimates his tankiness at this point in the game. He goes down pretty quickly. And then Morning tries to push Westor off. He's like, yeah, we got 4 members here. We can be aggressive. Unfortunately, he tanks the tower and then walks back into the tower while Deathfire touches on. Gives over a trade kill to the Kassadin, which is not what you want to do, because this Kassadin is now 2-0-0. And the one thing I did mention was, if this Kassadin can get going, it can actually be quite annoying for J-Team. Of course, they still have plenty of options, but definitely not something you want to do, is to feed a Kassadin over kills. Especially unnecessary ones. I suppose most kills are unnecessary ones. And now in the top lane, Morning might have stuck around too long here. Tower was so low, it goes down first brick over to AHQ. and the kill onto Westdoor. 3-0-0 on this Kassadin. He is starting to pop off a little bit. And the first brick gold. That is a huge swing in favor of AHQ. And meanwhile, the jungle mid lane duo from J Team only able to secure their own blue buff in the meantime. Not quite able to do anything on the other side of the map. Mountain was on that bot side just in case J Team tried to do a cross map play. Very good job by AHQ here. Morning not really respecting the Kassadin roam. He was able to push up the wave and then just rift walk. I'm not even sure he rift walked up to the top lane. He may have just straight up walked. Hook does land onto Albus, followed by the deadly flourish, but that is a Tahm Kench. He's pretty tanky. Good trade here coming in from the Jhin, as you can see, but they could tell something was up. Mountain was in the area, and smart by the JT bot lane to play it safely there. Flash still not quite up for Ann. Speaking of Flash, though, Mountain actually flashes forward. They know Fofo's Flash isn't down, so they just end up collapsing on him. Team is kind of on its way. Alex on that Sejuani trying to show up in time, throws the ult down. Fofo's so low. Is he going to get away, though? Actually might turn it around onto Mountain. He drops pretty low. Alex out of mana. Fofo does pick up the kill onto Mountain. Good job weaving in and out with those Qs. Westdoor now in so much trouble. Curtain call to zone him back right into Morning's awaiting Flame Spitter. That's another kill going over to J Team, turning around the aggression very nicely there in the mid lane. Albus on that big old frog has roamed up here to the mid lane along with Ann. They're going to be trying to make sure JT doesn't get a tower as well off of that play. A little bit of a misstep there from the AHQ mid jungle duo. They weren't quite able to close the distance in time and put enough damage onto Fofo. I'm sure we'll get a replay of that in a second. It is actually going to be the Essence Reaver coming out of the Bebe, so obviously the lethality changes haven't gone through, so he's going to be sticking to that older build. He's got a Ninja Tabby as well, so he's definitely respecting Ann's laning threat here. It's kind of surprising to see that Ninja Tabby. I suppose Kled's going to be diving him quite frequently if he can as well, so better safe than sorry in BB's eyes. Going to be playing mostly for the adding the utility that Jhin brings, of course, with the ult and the long-range deadly flourish. Albus able to get over the wall. Hook does land. Does the J decide to go forward? He does not. Just showing off his skill shot prowess. Doesn't need to take the hook. He's already won the battle. Fofo still with a very healthy CS lead in the mid lane, but Westdoor has those 3 kills, which is pretty much canceling that out at this point. Fortunately for J Team, all their pressure in the mid lane kind of gone to waste. See if they're able to turn it around. Meanwhile, J Team on the engage here. Mountain caught on the top side, as well as Albus. He's going so low, he just drops immediately. Kled has made his way down here, but it's just 1 kill over to J Team. TP was expent from Morning just in case there was a bigger team fight, and Equalizer still available. They might just turn onto this dragon, or try to secure this bottom tower. Both are viable options. Ziv zoning off Fofo here. Looks like Jay making his way over here trying to help his mid laner. HQ trying to trade objective-wise, but J-Team looks like they're pretty smart with the rotations. Going to spread their resources wisely, and they're able to pick up their first tower of the game in the bot lane. That is going to open up that area of the map. We might just see the top and bot laners swap at this point from J-Team. We'll see what they decide to do. It is indeed Jhin and Thresh heading up to that top lane. They're going to start to work to take down that tower. Rift Herald still on the board. Top side is where most of the objectives are that JT want to take right now, so makes sense for them to swap their dual lane up there. Kled going to be hanging around for now. Ziv might step a bit too far forward. I'm not sure if JT has the damage to finish this one off. Sejuani on the way. There's actually no ult for Ziv, though, so he might have a bit of trouble getting away from this one. So much CC. Gets dismounted already. Here's Sejuani just to make sure the kills go through. He tries to trade one over onto Jay. Gets him pretty low, but not quite enough damage. And that kill is going to go over to BB. He's pretty happy about that. Now 2-0-2 on that Jhin. He's having a very good start to this game. Able to keep even with Ann on CS, as well as pick up these 2 kills. He's feeling pretty good about this. So is J-Team in general. They're up 7-3 in kills, just under 50 minutes into this one. They are up basically 2k gold here. Cloud Drake was, of course, the first one to spawn, and unfortunately, these teams usually don't place very high priority onto it. You only really see them take it either in a trade when they're forced to, or just because they have nothing better to do. A lot of pings going down onto this mid lane area, actually, by J-Team. They may look to catch Westdoor off guard. The blue buff trying to be taken by Mountain. He's going to run into a lot of members of J-Team. Stun does not quite land from the Jhin. Sejuani ult, though, does. Mountain dropping pretty low. Here comes the Tahm Kench ult to try to save their jungler. Big fight going to happen here in the jungle. Unfortunately for AHQ, J-Team seem to be grouped a lot faster. Westdoor trying to wreak havoc here on the right side, but it's 2 kills already going over to J-Team. And they are absolutely doing whatever they want in AHQ's jungle here. They may just turn onto the Rift Herald or possibly the top tower. Ziv hanging around here will be spotted out. Alex pushing him away. Deadly Flourish lands. I don't think they're going to take that. They don't have very many cooldowns left after taking that fight. It's actually a Banshee Veil first from Fofo, so a bit of a defensive build along with the Magic Resist boots. They are quite a heavy damage team comp, so. As you can see, Mountain just really not respecting the fact that JT can just walk in here. I'm pretty sure they might have avoided the vision onto the pink ward, but either way, disrespectful play coming out of AHQ a little bit, and they even Tahm Kench ulted in with the Caitlyn, but they kind of put themselves out of position with that play. Might have been the right call just to hand that blue buff over, or at least bring more members. It was just JT being grouped a lot faster. They're able to collapse and get those kills with relative ease. That cheeky pink ward coming in from J-Team is going to spot Westdoor coming in here. Looks like they will not secure the blue buff. Oh, that is a shame. That's a tilter right there. Rumble picks that one up. No blue buff for Westdoor. He's going to be a sad, sad Rift Walker. Void Walker? I think Rift Walker is from Magic the Gathering. Either way, he is not happy on this Kassadin. JT looking to take vision control of this Rift Herald area. I almost said Baron area, but that won't be for another roughly 3 minutes, and they're going to go ahead and start this one up. I don't think AHQ wants to contest this one. Down a healthy amount, and as we've seen, the team fights have been in favor of J-Team so far. Kassadin, though, has that Rod of Ages complete. Maybe they feel like they have the items to take this one. Ziv being on the front line here, trying to tank up the damage. Here comes the TP in. See how this fight breaks down. Alex so far playing that front line very well, pushing off AHQ. Mountain just doing his best to get out of this one. BB, meanwhile, here, just dumping in the damage onto Albus. The shield, trying to keep him alive. He drops so low. Deadly Flourish is going to pick up that kill. AHQ actually liking the re-engage here. Ziv popping forward. Mountain's getting CC'd up here. He wants the kill on the baby. He gets the kill, flashing forward. But here comes Morning trying to get revenge, I should say, for his AD carry. Will he be able to pick it up without going down, though? He does. Just barely. Alex, meanwhile, running away from this Kled. I don't think he's going to make it very far, unfortunately. That kill goes over eventually. Will it? No, he doesn't have the cooldown. He can't get him. The Poro is too fast. I believe in total that was a 3-for-1 for J-Team. So they're not outright winning these fights completely, but they are squeaking out these pretty big advantages each time. And that is just snowballing this lead even further, as you can see. HQ still up on towers, though. J-Team has been winning the fights, but hasn't quite been able to pick up the objectives afterwards. As you can see here, AHQ didn't want to give up this Rift Herald and decided to at least try to contest it, and then they realized all of a sudden they're probably not going to win a straight-up 5v5 fight, so the disengage comes through. They end up losing 3 in total. They do their best to trade a few kills over here, as you can see Westdoor playing the flank of this fight. He's able to pick up the kill. Alex with the great escape here. I don't know how he manages to get out of that one. Well played by him, though. Westdoor going down, trading his life for that of Bebe. BB. Bebe. However you want to pronounce it. Whichever way you're inclined. Either way you look at it, J-Team have a pretty healthy lead here. Still hovering around 2,000. 12-4 in kills. Now they're starting to look to take these towers. They got absolute vision control of that blue side jungle for HQ. That is lit up like a freaking Christmas tree. See if they actually do decide to take the Rift Herald. Only 20 seconds left, I should say, so I guess they're probably not going to. It's actually AHQ who want to take away this dragon. J-Team spent basically all their resources and vision on that top side, so they have lost control on this bot side, and AHQ will take a free Cloud Drake for themselves. That's not bad. Any trade is good while you're behind. They technically, I suppose, traded the top tier 3 tower for that dragon. They picked themselves up that one. Next dragon, I believe, I didn't actually catch which one it'll be. I'm sure that'll pop up on the screen for a second. It'll be interesting to see what that is, though. Of course, it can change how these teams decide to play it out, especially if the Infernal Drake comes around. It will be a Mountain Drake next, which is also pretty important. AHQ probably won't want to pick that up for themselves, because when you're behind, Mountain Drakes aren't great, but they'll definitely want to deny it away from J-Team if possible. Just over 20 minutes into this game, J-Team with a lead, but not a super comfortable one. These team fights are still pretty close, and they haven't quite been able to take down these objectives as much as they might have wanted to. So only tied in towers, 2-2. But a 3k gold lead here, though, so it's something at least. Looks like AHQ might want to try to turn this one around in the bot lane. Stun goes down onto Westdoor. Morning not quite able to close the distance. Mountain, though, getting caught out around the dragon area. Albus is there to nom him up and keep him safe, though. Kench pick working wonders there. Able to avoid the lockdown coming through. J-Team definitely have their sights set on this mid-tier 3 tower, though. Gonna be interested in taking this one down. Wave clear is pretty strong from Ann on that Caitlyn, especially if he has the ability to step forward a little bit. Westdoor trying to secure his own blue buff. Unfortunately, I'm not sure JT want to give it up so easily. Alex trying to buy some time for his team to push these waves in. Looks like it might go over to AHQ. I'm pretty sure Westdoor won't get it, though, either way. Mountain's probably going to have to smite that one. Oh, it does go over to Westdoor. Yay! He gets his own blue buff. He's probably a happy boy about that one. Top lane has been pushed in pretty heavily, though, here from Fofo on that Talia. Trying to push in these waves and then roam around and make plays. Unfortunately, it's AHQ who have grouped up preemptively here in the mid lane, actually looking to go aggressive onto the tower themselves. JT set up for a bit of an engage here. They do spot out Morning with that ward, so they know something's going on. And, though, stepping a bit too far forward, gets hit by that deadly flourish. Flash forward, but there's a Talia wall right in his face, but he was going for the Tahm Kench. Unfortunately, the Nom wasn't enough to keep him alive. That's another kill going over. Albus dies trying to save his AD carry, and Mountain's fate is similar. He goes down as well. That's a 3-for-0 for J-Team, punishing a little bit of over-aggression from HQ in the mid lane. Westdoor trying to get an assassination onto Fofo, but unfortunately, the heals come through, and they're able to keep their mid laner alive. And now with the third kill going, or the fourth kill, I should say, going over, that is definitely going to be a Baron buff secured for J-Team. And a little bit of over-aggression from AHQ in the mid lane is going to result in this game kind of being blown wide open. Picking up this Baron buff and getting those 4 kills is going to be huge in aiding J-Team. They already have a pretty good objective-taking team. Of course, with the Talia able to zone people off. Rumble ult's going to do wonders in that category as well. TPs are up for both top laners. We'll see if J-Team decide to split their Baron pressure or group up. As you can see on this replay, and bit of a bizarre play. I suppose he felt a little bit too safe. He had flash and heal and the Tahm Kench, but the damage just came through and he got locked up for such a long time. Weren't even able to save him. Mountain as well, falling prey to the CC chain coming out of J-Team. And Westdoor, he can tell that this game is going south fast, so he tries to make a bit of a hero play. Unfortunately, he was on a ward on the other side of the wall, so they kind of saw that coming. They probably said, you know, if this Kassadin jumps over, just kill him. Now J-Team have themselves up a Baron. It should be pretty easy to be able to eventually take this tower. You just want to kind of push these 2 waves in simultaneously and rotate in between. AHQ probably won't be able to respond. J-Team looking to secure the red buff for themselves. Looks like it'll go over to Alex here. BB going to be busy in the mid lane, applying some pressure. AHQ maybe looking to catch them out in a rotation. That is a incredibly tanky Sejuani, though, already. Stun goes down, actually onto the Gragas. He's going so low, body slammed into curtain call range, and it's actually Alex who picks up that one with an assist from the red carpet. And now AHQ are just dropping like flies, trying to defend their towers, get a little too far close. Ziv is able to pick up a return kill, and he actually remounts here, getting a decent amount of health back. Alex might need the support of his team, but he should just be fine. That's 2 towers going down in the mid lane while all this is happening for J Team. This is going to be a very healthy Baron power play, I can promise you that. 3 kills, 2 towers going over. All of a sudden, J Team with a very healthy gold lead, sitting at around 7k now. Only 25 minutes in, that is quite terrifying. The late game coming out of AHQ is quite impressive with the Kassadin and the Caitlyn, but if you can't get there, it's kind of meaningless. J-Team with this mid-game fighting comp are doing very well. As you can see, it seemed like AHQ were trying to catch them in the rotation there on the bot side, but it ends up just splitting up their team, and J-Team wins on both fronts of the fight. So, a puzzling decisions a little bit coming up from AHQ, but when you're this far behind, there's not many good decisions you can make. Ziv doing good to pick up at least 1 return kill. Unfortunately for him, it's not nearly going to be enough. J-Team are in a very good position to start to close out this game. AHQ definitely wanted a little bit better of a start to this one. Looks like they're looking to get the catch onto Ziv. He has TP, does not have ult or flash, and that is 4 members of JT. It's actually the TP coming in here from AHQ. They may want to try to turn this, but this seems like the worst decision since their decision to try to contest when JT had the Baron buff. Tatilia Wall going to come just to catch up to Westor. And AHQ with the desperation trying to pull that team fight around are just going to end up giving up 3 more kills to the side of J-Team, and they will say thank you very much for that. And now we'll go ahead and take this tower as well. This will be all but 1 tier 2 towers going down on the side of AHQ. 5 towers to 2. AHQ hasn't been able to pick up 1 for themselves in quite a while, and doesn't even have enough time to set up a line of traps here. It will be the inhibitor tower going down. 20 seconds still onto Westor. J-Team will probably look to go aggressive onto this inhibitor. Alex gonna just sit in this front line and stop Ann from doing any damage to his carries. Inhibitor going to go down very quickly here. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Rumble actually able to take that inhibitor tower. It's actually the engage coming in for AHQ, flank for Ziv on that Kled, trying to lock down the kill onto Jay. Meanwhile, though, JT have pushed away AHQ for now, but they were able to stay alive crucially here. This might be a good fight for AHQ. 1 kill goes back over to the side of J-Team, and they're just so far behind. It's so hard to actually, even though J-Team arguably made a misplay there, they're so far ahead that they're able to make a few misplays before AHQ can even almost turn it around. So it just ends up being a trade for kills top lane or for support, still in favor of J-Team. They have over a 10k gold lead now, under 30 minutes into this one. Not much AHQ can do at this point. Seems like a matter of time before J-Team finishes this one off, as long as they play it nice and intelligently. They took the inhibitor in the bot lane, exposed the inhibitor in the mid lane. They may just look to wait for this next Baron buff, take that one, and look to close it out. Mountain Drake is available as well if they want to swoop down there and pick that up at some point. 23-6 in kills. It has quickly turned into a stomp here from J-Team, actually. Able to capitalize on the mistakes from AHQ very nicely. He's going to be able to pick up that red buff for himself. He's got the rapid fire as well, so that poke from Jhin is going to be quite scary. Alex going to steal away the blue buff from Westor. It's going to help out a lot in keeping this Kassadin under control. He is the most fed member on AHQ right now. He's got 4 kills to his name. Fortunately, there pretty much isn't anyone who isn't fed on J-Team. Everybody has got a decent amount of kills, except for Thresh, which is kind of what you want. He's got a lot of assists, though. Doing his job as support. As you might expect here, J-Team just looking to take vision control of this blue side and Baron area. Basically, their tactic here is just completely blind AHQ of this area so that they can either turn onto the Baron whenever they want, or more likely just look to mix picks when AHQ are forced to come in here and try to contest for vision. J-Team doesn't actually have the greatest Baron take, but it's not bad, and they're so far ahead that it really wouldn't matter. They may not even want the Baron, actually, at this point. They're just pushing in onto the last inhibitor tower here. Talia ult did a good job to zone them off, and they almost were able to take it down in one fell swoop. Next minion wave has arrived. Caitlyn traps are down. JT gonna have to be a little bit careful not to step on that, but the rapid fire doing work. for BB. He just needs one more shot, takes that tower down. Ping's going down onto the mid lane inhibitor. This one's going to be a lot easier to take because there's no towers they're going to have to work around. Looks like the minion wave is being ushered in. They're going to wait on that, it seems like. Baron buff up right now, actually, so we'll see what the call is from J-Team, if they want to peel back onto that or just continue with the aggression. Westdoor gets stunned up there, and meanwhile, here comes the engage. Red carpet gets dropped, trying to push AHQ forward a bit, and it works so far. Gragas going down already, and here comes the curtain call opening up, trying to get the slowdown along with the damage. Will he get the kill? He will. Flash comes out from Albus, but unfortunately, it was in a straight line. And this is just child's play here now from J-Team. They're so far ahead, they can just do whatever they want. First Nexus Tower drops. Second is soon to follow. And going to channel that Caitlyn ult just for fun. No way in hell this will be able to be turned around here for AHQ. It is game one. Going over to the side of J-Team, and relatively easy, you might say. They're able to snowball their lead very well, actually. Picking up that mid-game comp, and they really put it to use. AHQ, a few instances where they were a bit disrespectful. They paid for it quite heavily. So that is game one going over the J-Team. We'll see if they can look to close this one out 2-0, or if AHQ have a response. That game will be coming up very shortly.